All right, this is Patrick Rogers, and today we have the privilege to have Justin Moore on the show. And Justin is the CEO of Mile Marker Industries. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Hey, great to be here. Thank you, Patrick.
Awesome, great to have you. So, a little bit about Justin. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube, he is 38 years old. I thought he was like 30, 32, so looking good. Justin has over 15 years of management experience in various sectors, much of which is in the automotive industry, a growth-oriented and innovation-driven leader who is passionate about delivering value to customers and stakeholders. He was recently named CEO of Mile Marker just in July of this year. So first of all, congrats on your recent your job and move from Tennessee down to Boca Raton area in Florida. So one of the reps of the company was quoted as saying, "With Justin at the helm, we are excited to revitalize our product line with innovative offerings while staying true to our core values of unmatched reliability and superior performance." Having recently undergone a transition from an interim CEO, Mile Marker's selection of Justin is a testament to the company's unwavering dedication to excellence and its commitment to delivering top-tier products to both its loyal customers and esteemed vendors. So, Justin, I can't wait to dive into your experience even before Mile Marker, but even coming into Mile Marker. There's always an interesting journey when someone comes into a new position. So I definitely would love to dive into that a little bit. But before we dive into everything, what's one interesting fact about yourself that not many people know?
For me, I think one interesting fact would be that I have always been a car guy, and I don't know if everybody would pin that on me, but from the time that I was able to hold a Matchbox car, I've always, if it has wheels, I've always been interested in it. So, that's just been like part of my DNA of who I am.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's just bred in there, man. It's who you are. Very cool.
That's right.
So tell us about Mile Marker.
Yeah, so Mile Marker, this company has a lot of rich history. We're actually celebrating our 40th anniversary this year in 2024, and so that's a big deal. And I remember selling these products, at 18 years old in an AutoZone. And I was impressed then with the quality of the product, and really had good feelings about the brand. So it's been really humbling and awesome to come and have the opportunity to lead the company at this level. So, yeah.
And so for those people who aren't familiar with Mile Marker, what are some of the major product lines?
Yeah, so Mile Marker makes quality winches and wheel hubs or 4x4 hubs for the automotive industry. So we also do a lot of Department of Defense, DoD work, and part of Mile Marker's kind of launch of success was back in Desert Storm, actually, creating a hydraulic winch for the Humvee. So that really put us on the launch pad of growth, and we've been growing ever since.
Oh, fantastic! That's great to hear. So, so you just came into this role in July, and for anybody who's ever come into a CEO role, it can definitely be challenging. So, what was your approach, man, when you came in?
Yeah, when I first came in, part of what I wanted to do was not move too quick, and what I mean by that is, there's momentum that's in place already the minute you walk in the door, right? So these guys had been operating under a certain leadership style, and I wanted to respect that kind of momentum that they had. So really early on, my goal was just to learn, what are the key things that people are talking about? What's the direction that they're headed in, so that I could then edit and pivot and tweak, what I saw as critical to the success of what we needed to do, without being too disruptive to the day-to-day business. And so that's what I've really strived to do is do kind of a slow ship turn. We're a small business, but we're not extremely small. So there is, quite a bit of momentum to the activities that we do, and it does take quite a while to innovate and bring new products to market. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. How big is the company? Whether you want to comfortable sharing your revenues, the number of people, whatever feels good.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We're we've grown over the years. I probably don't want to talk revenue, but
Yeah.
we've got, you know, about 30 people,
Cool.
that are regular employees. So, pretty sizable workforce, and
Yeah.
manufacturing down here in South Florida.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, very cool. And that's one of the things that it's been discussion points before, and I've coached and consulted with people about coming in to take over a role is exactly what you said, not moving too quick. And the other reason is they, you could be perceived as kind of an a-hole, just coming in when
Yeah.
you don't really know what's going on and start pointing figures and doing this and that. So how long did it take you before you were comfortable really starting to move things around or make suggestions, recommendations, changes?
Yeah. So it took me about 90 days.
Nice, nice, man.
I captured all my opinions early on, and my approach, and I've got some great mentors that I've had long-standing relationships with, that have already been down this path. And at their wisdom and guidance, they said, look, you need to capture your thoughts on day one, and refer to those in 90 days, 100 days, because odds are a lot of your initial opinions will be correct, but you don't want to take movement too quick. And so I've kind of followed that mantra, and it served me well. I think that was the right choice.
Yeah, it sounds like it turned out really well and probably gained you the respect of the entire team very quickly.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So what are some of the things that have allowed you as a leader and CEO to be successful, or maybe not even CEO in your last position, but to be successful in your role as a leader and a manager?
Yeah, I think change management is core to a lot of my success. Project management, being able to understand ROI evaluation, and then what I would call fail fast, learn early. And so what that means is test the waters, set up an alpha and a beta test, and then get those learnings in quick, and then scale that. And so throughout my career, I've been privileged to lead, very large brands. So product
Mm.
marketing for Bridgestone Firestone,
Oh, wow.
doing the many of their tire launches while I was there. I managed for the consumer side of the business.
Hmm.
I've had experience working in a fintech, in operations, doing a lot of new product process and Six Sigma work. And so I think having the ability to pivot between operational, marketing, and kind of that go to market has really been helpful in driving a lot of the success that I've had.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So, so if we dig into this concept of change management and project management, what do you think are the top things, if we dig into that subject, that have led to your success? What are your strategies within that change management?
Yeah, so first you have to kind of understand where you're at. So it's evaluating where you're at today, from whether that be a new product process or the way that you go to market with your marketing. What does it look like today? Establish that baseline. And from there, it's really digging in and finding out the five whys. So, start, doing that fishbone diagram research of, hey, this is the way we do it today. Why is that? Is it just because that's been the way it's always been done? Have we tried things and failed that we can take as learnings already? Or have we just not done anything new and exciting, and that's just kind of the culture that exists? So understanding where those pitfalls are and where your baseline is first is critical. From there, I think having a plan in place that the team is willing to accept is important as well. So to change management, for change management, it's important that you get buy-in from the team. You don't necessarily need uniform agreement, in my opinion, across the team, because you're going to have naysayers that
Sure.
simply don't want to do it. But if you can get general agreement among the team and you've done your due diligence on things to watch out for, that really helps with the implementation of new ideas, new processes, and kind of setting down new groundwork for the way that you operate.
Yeah. I want to go back to something you said there real quick. You mentioned the five whys, and I don't know that everybody, listeners, everybody will know about that. Explain what the five whys are, because I think that's a very key concept.
Sure. Yeah, the five whys are really just asking why, why something exists. It's repeatedly
Right.
until you get to the root order of that decision, right? So it could be, maybe you do a certain product launch a certain way. So just asking, well, hey, why do we do that way? You're going to get an initial answer that's kind of surface level. And then it becomes, okay, well, if that's the way we do it because of that, well, why do we do that in that way to get that result? It's like, well, then you're going to get a level deeper from that. And you continue to do that until you get down to the root cause of, and it may be something to the effect of, I haven't had the support to do it any other way. Or, we had a particular vendor that we really liked, and that's what they suggested, and that's what we've stuck with. Whatever that
Yeah.
answer is.
Yeah.
Once
So
you
letting go of the
discover,
status quo, challenging the status
right,
quo. Yeah.
right. And so once you discover what that is, it really helps to be able to make that change that you need to make.
Yeah. So tell me more about this fail fast and learn early concept.
Yeah, yeah. So this is something that's pretty common in the agile space, which is very different than standard traditional product management in a manufactured or in a procured space with physical product.
Yeah.
But fail fast, learn early is basically the way that you can do alpha and beta tests, and that helps because it allows you to trial things without having all of the things that you might need to scale an approach. You can get out there and test stuff. For instance, website changes are done fairly easily, and it's a fairly low cost to do that edit. How you market products, if you change the language or change the promotion, maybe you do an email blast where you change some of the marketing messaging, and you can do an A and a B test, right? So those early tests where you're not trying to scale something immediately on an idea, you're actually testing to see what works and what doesn't. And if you fail, that's great. Take that as a learning. You know what not to do now. And so it's really about containing that risk and leveraging those learnings.
So you kind of referred to like the website example. So before you can do that, right? There's, you have to define what's the KPI that you're looking at, right? And is it a leading indicator? Is it a lagging indicator? What just that example alone, like, are you looking at just sales? Are you looking at heat maps? Are you looking at, how detailed are you getting when you're doing A/B testing?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a number of things. I mean, I think it all depends on the data that you've got access to. So, are
Sure.
you geotagging? Are you looking at do you have a robust CRM that's got all of your client and potential client information already there? How many times they visit your site? What are they looking at? What products do they have in their cart, et cetera?
Right.
But I would say always leverage as much data as you have available at your fingertips, because it's just going to make you that much smarter on what works and what doesn't.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. And in our pre-talk, one of the things I had asked is, what's your biggest failure that you learned from as a CEO? And you talked
Mhm.
about staying focused on the exact of the customer requests and not making assumptions.
Yes, yes. So one
Tell
of
us
the
about that.
things that we have a particular customer, fairly large customer that put in a request for a product, and we noticed that the product that they were requesting had a deficiency. And so we thought, hey, if there's a deficiency, I'm sure that they would appreciate a repair to that deficiency or an improvement over that deficiency at at a nominal or an equal cost. And that was a learning that, to me, that's not always the case. When you're dealing with
Mm,
certain customers, there can be parameters for the usage of your product that are outside of your knowledge base, right? So I think, what it really boils down to is just improved communication with the customer, and ensuring that you're synced up, and you're not going to do something on an assumption without looping that customer in, and finding that out first.
gotcha. Yeah. No, that's great, because we assume that every client either thinks like us or every client thinks the same, and that's hardly ever the case. And it sounds like you had a hard knocks lesson there. Um,
Yes.
awesome. So what's next for Mile Marker?
Yeah, I'm super excited because this year, like I said, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary, and we're really focused on bringing new products to market, both within the winch line and accessory lines. So, I think that our customers are going to be pleasantly surprised with some of the innovation we're bringing to the table.
Awesome.
There's a lot of commoditized winches out there,
Right.
and Mile Marker has never been in that space, thankfully, because of the quality of the product that we offer and our ties with military. So we get a lot of the best technology out there, and we leverage that for our brand. So we're just kind of pouring coals on that same innovative
Love
mentality,
that.
and
Yeah.
we're going to actually expand our product line as well.
Awesome. That's exciting. So a
Yeah.
lot of exciting things going on at Mile Marker. Very good, man. Here's my kind of wrap up question before I do some summary. But if you were going to hire a CEO to take the reins for your company, what's the one book that you'd require he or she read before taking over?
I think it'd be Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Amazing
Um,
book.
it's not a new book. It's not it's not an overly sexy book, I would say.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe how like profound it was when I was reading it
Yeah.
originally. And I still remember where I was when I was reading it. And so
No way.
yeah, yeah. I was actually on vacation with my family in North Carolina, and I remember reading it like, oh my gosh, this should be like every high schooler gets this book,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's that fundamental. And what it really boils down to is just having the right attitude, and thinking about opportunity in a different way. So that's, if you boil all the questions down of success, right, you get down to those 5 whys. Maybe if you got into the 30 or the 40 whys, I think you'd find out that that's really what it boils down to. It's just attitude, and thinking about money and growth and opportunity in a different light.
I love that. That's awesome. Let me take a few minutes, Justin, and summarize some of my key takeaways from our time together today. One is, when you're coming in to take over that CEO role, is, to kind of summarize what Justin talked about, is have some humility, be humble coming in, don't move too quick, kind of sit back and just observe for a while, learn, observe, take about 90 days before you really try to make any recommendations or changes. And it does, from everything I've heard and from the mentors you got it from, it takes that long to really be able to make a good decision anyways. The other is change management, and kind of within that change management, really identifying where are you now before we do anything, really assess that, and then identifying the 5 whys. And kind of like you explained, is not just taking the first why at face value and running it with it, because typically it takes literally asking why 5 times in a row before you get to the real root cause of the situation, and get buy-in from the team, right? That overall general agreement. Fail fast and learn early. Again, fantastic. Doing alpha A/B testing. Don't just make a change and think it's going to be better because you think it's going to be better. Leverage data, measure it, adjust. If it fails, go back to where you were and try a different A/B test, right? And the other thing, I thought was great, is stay focused on customer exact requests. Don't make assumptions going into it. Justin, if there was one takeaway that you'd really want the audience to absorb from our time together today, what would that be?
Yeah, I think, for me, as a new leader coming in, regardless of the company that you go into, I think it's important that your viewers realize that it's a process. So it's not a light switch. It's definitely a process to turn a ship, and regardless of the company size, it's important to bring people along with that. Like I said, you don't necessarily need consensus across the entire team, but you need to explain the story of the why, and bring them along wherever you can.
Yeah, and people support what they help create, right? So,
Right.
you can't just go firing guns all over the place. They're gonna hate you.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Justin, if any of our listeners wanted to reach out either for product or any questions on today's podcast, what's the best way they can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to email me. I'll give you my personal email. It's justin@milemarker.com.
Awesome.
And reach out. Be more than happy to help.
Awesome. Justin, thanks again for being on the show. This was a fantastic episode. So many great nuggets of information here for up and coming leaders.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patrick. I really appreciate the time.
You bet. And so for the listeners out there, please hit the like and subscribe button and help us spread the word about what we're doing here. We're helping the next generation of CEOs and leaders be that much more successful. With that, this is your host, Patrick Rogers, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks a lot.